like to introduce Senator Biden, who, as you know, has been behind this project and things that I've been doing for years, and it's my honor to introduce him today.
One thing we've all learned is you can't say no to Stephanie. So those of you who are new to her, I say to Vandermark and Lynch, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I think to most of you in here, I don't know how deeply you know you're in for it. My unsolicited advice is, before she gets into her whole spiel, just say yes. Just say yes. Quite frankly, Steph came to me, I guess it's 6 or more years ago, and said, look, we're going to need money, and I thought she was talking about, I don't know, $100,000, $200,000. And she's talking about real money, and we want to have this thing that's going to deal with space and math and science. And I think, what in the heck is she talking about? And we want to do it somewhere in Smyrna. The only thing I think of is Ronnie's Market, and our chief astronaut here is going to be going up shortly. The only reason I supported this, by the way, is they promised me you'd be in the first capsule. But all kidding aside, I must tell you, I did not think it was particularly doable, but especially at a time when NASA's budget was being cut, and when NASA was in tough shape, and it's in very tough shape right now. To be able to go in and say to my colleagues, the appropriators, look, I need millions of dollars here for a dream that Dr. Stephanie Wright has about putting something essentially in the middle of my state, in the middle of a field that's going to do a lot of great things and get kids involved early on, create a passion for not only the notion of passion for space, but for math and for science. And I found that the more she talked to me, and the more talking points she gave me, it wasn't quite as hard to sell as I thought it was going to be. And I suspect Tom and Mike found it similarly so. And so the point I want to make to you is that this is probably, at least in the middle Atlantic states, and maybe the nation, one of the most unique undertakings that anyone has proposed, and has the promise of becoming significant. Not only significant for our kids here, but significant in terms of an attraction, if you will, that will, I predict, will attempt to be modeled throughout the country. Because God only knows if there's any emphasis that is needed today is on space, science, and mathematics, and they are all intertwined. My two colleagues are here to speak. I'm not going to go into the detail of the money. We've already made the request for the next budget year. It's already in, no, already done. We haven't gotten it yet, and as Mike and Tom can tell you, it's going to be fairly rough sledding, since all of us are unhappy with the fact we're going to have about a $400 billion deficit, and so it's going to get a little bit harder. But I think you have, I think it was right to call this a congregation, because you have, we've all had an altar call. We have all witnessed your enthusiasm and the enthusiasm of so many people you have gotten involved. Two closing comments. One, I think this is one heck of a testament to not only Stephanie's imagination, but Stephanie's personality and her credibility. That she's attracted so many of you who are very significant people to get involved in this undertaking, to give your time, your effort, and your money in many cases, and resources that come from the agencies and or companies that you work with. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. This is proof of the fact that all great things are started by a single individual. By a single individual. And so I compliment you, Stephanie. Let me close with a quote from Carl Sagan. He said, "It's been said that astronomy is a humbling, and I might add, character-building experience. To my mind, There is no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly and compassionately with one another and to preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home mankind has ever known. I think that is also part of the mission that Stephanie has in mind for this place. And so I look forward to seeing it grow, to see children and young people here. And one of the people who I told about this was a very, very close friend of mine 6 years ago. I happened to be with him at the time. He's a federal judge now. His name is Steve McCullough. And he was my campaign manager years ago when I tried a foolish thing. It was about equivalent to going to space, running for president. And remember, it was his wife, Krista McCullough, who was the teacher in space who lost her life in the Challenger. And I remember what he said to me. It was a real simple thing. Sure, we were just having it wasn't even the purpose of the conversation. And his comment was very straightforward, deadpan, Joe, you've got to do it. It was simple. And this is a simple idea that has great potential. And my only fear is, I suspect the fear of my colleagues, that I don't want to look at any more diagrams. I don't want to look at any more buildings. I don't want to look at any more projections what this place is going to look like, because it scares the living heck out of me how we're going to get the money. But I promise you, we'll try. Congratulations to you, Stephanie, and everyone here. God willing, this will be the contribution we all think it is.